Guys, we have a big breaking news coming out. US Vice President Vance threatens sanctions, military action to push Vladimir into Ukraine deal. Now, this is coming out from Reuters. They are showing the information from Wall Street Journal, and we're going to see what's going on here, guys. There's a lot of information about this story, and a lot of people saying that it's not true. Other people saying that it's true. So you got all these mixed story going on here. So did Vance actually threaten the bear with sanctions? So we're going to see what's going on in this one here. This is very extremely important. At the same time, you have a nuclear power plant that was hit early this morning. It was like around 1:30 a.m. Eastern time, and it's a nuclear plant. Again, I don't want to say the name of the plant, but it's in Ukraine. And that thing is, again, it was hit by, supposedly, it was the Russians that did it. But the Russians came out and they said that it was not them. This is all a false FLAG. At the same time, you have very important people like world leaders and even JD Vance and Rubio. You got all these people out there trying to talk when it comes to this war, peace agreement. All right, so right now it's really hot. When I say hot, using it as a metaphor, tensions are really intense right now. So we're gonna see what's going on with all these news here, guys. Nation against nation is boiling up. All right, guys. Before I start, for those of you that want to help and support this channel, we do have the Cash App link and also the PayPal link in the description box. If you guys want to help and support this channel, thank you so much for that support. Thank you so much for the super chat, guys. I'm seeing the super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for that support. Thank you so much, guys. We did the verse of the day. The link will be in the comments box, the first video in Grand Supreme News. Make sure you check out the video Grand Supreme News. I did talk about the nuclear power plant. Now, a lot of people are saying that it's a false FLAG. I believe so. They're trying to blame everything on the bear because the bear want to end this war. All right, so we're going to see what's going on with this one here. This is something that's is very important to know. And one thing I tell you guys is that, you know, the Bible is absolutely correct. When spoken of peace and safety, that sudden destruction shall follow. All right, so U.S. VP J.D. Vance said the U.S. could hit Moscow with sanctions and potential military action if the bear leader Vladimir does not agree to a peace deal with Ukraine. That guarantees the yellow and blue country capital long-term independence, the Wall Street Journal reported on Thursday. Now it says here there are economic tools of leverage. There are, of course, military tools of leverage the U.S. could use against Vladimir, the vice president said in an interview with the newspaper. All right, so here's another thing too. Donald said that he will continue supporting Ukraine, all right, until this peace agreement come to fulfillment. But he will continue supporting Ukraine. Now, at the same time, he said that he wants to see, you know, many from, again, he don't want to see any more people passing away, put it like that. Hopefully I don't get hit hard by this platform saying that. But again, Donald is saying that he wants to end this, but at the same time, he's still supporting them. And it's something that I was very disappointed, because he said that he was going to end this in 24 hours. He also said that he's not going to be sending stuff. But it just, once he got into the spotlight, he had a different little, you know, change of heart, put it like that. But again, he's still, you know, the Donald that's putting his foot down on all these Looney Tunes. And I appreciate that. But when it comes to these wars, I just had a feeling that he was not going to end in 24 hours. So there are many number of formulations, of configurations, but we do care about Ukraine having Soviet independence, the vice president said. Now, once again, Donald on Wednesday discussed the war with Vladimir and separately with Zelensky, and told the U.S. officials to begin talks on ending the nearly 3-year-long conflict. Now, the phone calls came shortly after the U.S. Defense Secretary Pete told Ukraine's military allies in Brussels that a return to Ukraine's pre-2014 borders before the Bear annexed Crimea was unrealistic, and that the U.S. does not see NATO membership for the yellow and blue country capital as part of a solution. So Donald's saying, hey, they're not going to be members. They're not going to be members. They're not going to be members. I guess for the next 20 years, something like that. Ukrainians on Thursday worried that Donald was preparing to sell out their country following his phone call with Vladimir. It was a 90-minute phone call. Now, earlier in the day, Donald said that Ukraine will be involved in peace talk with the bear. He told reporters at the White House that Ukraine will have a seat at the table during any peace negotiation with the bear over ending the war. Now, it says here, you have Kiev said it will be premature to speak with Moscow at a security conference on Friday. I think there is a deal that is going to come out of this that's going to shock a lot of people. The newspaper quoted Vance as saying. Now, the president is not going to go in this with blinders on, the vice president said. He's going to say everything is on the table. Let's make a deal. If we don't make a deal, look out. Sleeping giant soldiers possibly will go in. We don't want that. We definitely don't want that. Vance also agreed that Donald might change his mind, depending on how the negotiation unfolds. Donald could say, look, we don't want this thing. We might not like this thing, but we are willing to put it back on the table if the bear aren't being good negotiating partners, or there are things that are very important to Ukrainians that we might want to take off the table. All right. Now, let me go with this next news here. All right. We do have a lot more information I want to share to you guys. But let's see what's going on with this one. Pure fake? Did Vance actually warn the bear with sanctions? Well, let's see what's going on here. One thing I'll tell you guys, there's a lot of stuff out there that is twisted, especially what happened to that nuclear power plant. They try to blame the bear, but it's not the bear. It's a false FLG going on. FLAG. So once again, you have the Wall Street Journal was out with a piece late on Thursday night with quite the opening, with claims that VP JD Vance said that the U.S. would hit the bear with sanctions and possibly even military action if the bear leader Vladimir wouldn't agree to a peace deal. Now, the headline communicated the same. Vance wields warning of sanctions, military action to push Vladimir into Ukraine deal. Now, the vice president office is disputing that, though pointing to the transcript of the interview. The piece begins with a stunning claim, also seeking to seemingly portray the Donald administration in disarray over the matter. It says here, VP JD Vance said Thursday that the U.S. would hit the bear capital with sanctions and potentially military action if the bear leader Vladimir won't agree to a peace deal with Ukraine that guarantees Kiev long-term independence. Now, Vance said the option of sending the sleeping giant soldiers to Ukraine if Moscow failed to negotiate in good faith remained on the table, striking a far tougher tune than did Defense Secretary Pete, who on Wednesday suggested that the sleeping giant wouldn't commit forces. J.D. Vance said the sleeping giant could pursue a range of measures, giving Donald ample negotiating flexibility with Vladimir and Zelensky. Now, the original post from the WSJ on X has been hit with a ratio of hundreds of replies, as well as community notes from the vice president's staff. William Martin, who serves as a communication director for Vance, posted a quoted repost disputing the WSJ piece, including the transcript in the process. "This is pure fake," Martin posted, speaking of the WSJ piece, as he offered users the chance to compare the transcript. As he also added, the VP didn't make any, you know what? He simply stated the fact that no one is going to take option away from Donald as these negotiations begins. All right? So again, you got a lot of twisted stuff here. But one thing I tell you, Donald said that he's willing to slap new sanctions on the bear if the bear does not end this war. Now he did said that. He said that I think it was like 2.5 weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken. The community notes references Martin Post, adding that J.D. Vance made no explicit pledge to either sanctions or military actions. A copy of the transcript is included in the link tweet. Give me a second here. Let me just pull up this information. So the VP didn't make any threats. He simply stated the fact that no one is going to take options away from Donald as these negotiations begins. Let me read this here. Is there a sense as to what is the stick for Vladimir? I mean, obviously, any kind of deal will have to entail an implicit threat that you have to stick to this, or else you have to even sign on the dotted line. Is there any pressure that you're thinking of? The VP said, I think, certainly, look there. There are instruments of pressure, absolutely. And again, if you look at Donald's approach to this, the range of option is extremely broad, and there are economic tools of leverage. There, of course, military tools of leverage. There's a whole host of things that we could do, but fundamentally, I think the president wants to have a productive negotiation, both with Vladimir and with Zelensky. Okay, give me a second here. I'm going to have to make this a little smaller now. So just want to make sure I understand you correctly. You're saying that even though the possibility of a Ukraine NATO accession at the time of this process, or even the presence of U.S. troops in Ukraine, is not officially off the table, J.D. Vance responded, I think the leader has been very clear that he doesn't like the idea of moving Ukraine into NATO. He's been very clear about that. I also think that the leader is very clear that whenever he walks in a negotiation, everything is on the table. All right. So once again, there is a lot of information out there that people need to be very careful. Someone said, bizarre. Why would a respected publication want to create the illusion of additional tension in a fraught situation? Doesn't make any logical sense. If you believe in peace and stability in the world, which then begs the question, why would they not want present and desired picture of peace and stability? Perhaps all publication will not be so respected. Wall Street, what has changed a great deal in the last 10 years? It's not the same paper. I think that the powers that be at war against Sleeping Giant first really want a nuclear conflict between the bear, Russia, and the Sleeping Giant, America. So what are your thoughts, guys? Leave comments down below. This is the reason why I'm bringing this information up. Reuters is the one that put out the info. They are, sharing certain breaking down. They are breaking down what Wall Street Journal report. So once again, yeah, this is not looking good here, guys. And this is the same Reuters that has to pay back the $9 million that Donna is demanding from the USAID. All right. So once again, guys, a lot of information is coming out. US VP warned Vladimir that if he does not accept a deal with the sleeping giant, will take military action towards the bear and deploy troops to Ukraine. Yeah, that is baloney. That is baloney. I highly doubt that Donald is not into escalating wars, especially after not giving any insurrection to Ukraine. Someone else say, no, he did not say that. Stop lying. Not gonna happen. Vance didn't say this. So, once again, guys, this is what's going on, and at the same time, you got all those, nuclear plants that the bear hit it. It was not the bear. There's some false FLAG going on here. So be aware. Don't be deceived. Be careful with the things that is being put out there. One thing I tell you, Donald did said that he would slap new sanctions on the bear if the bear does not end this biblical war. Military troops? No. He said that he's not going to be sending sleeping giant soldiers out there. He's not going to be sending our sleeping giant soldiers out there. All right, guys, so this is where we at right now. Leave comments down below. I will keep you updated when it comes to all these news. Again, I'm not saying, that JD is sending soldiers. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is that, there's a whole bunch of, fake stuff going around, so you may want to be careful with that. But one thing I tell you is that, give me a second here. Let me pull something up really quick. I do have some more updates when it comes to situation going on in the meeting. You have Vance here. Let me just bring up some of Vance stuff because he's out there right now. Okay, so let me just fix it so you guys have a better view. Vance to Europe. If you fear your own voters, Sleeping Giant can help you. What is the positive vision that animates the shared security compact that we all believe is so important? And I believe deeply that that there is no security if you are afraid of the voices, the opinions, and the conscience that guide your very own people. Now, Europe faces many challenges, but this continent faces right now, the crisis, I believe, we all face together, is one of our own making. If you're running in fear of your own voters, there is nothing the Sleeping Giant can do for you. JD Vance said this: Europe must step up. You must step up. The Sleeping Giant can't shoulder the burden alone. We don't think you hear this term burden sharing, but we think it's an important part of being in a shared alliance together, that the Europeans step up while the Sleeping Giant focuses on areas of the world that are in great danger. So there's a lot of stuff that he said. He's out there speaking with Zelensky. Let me just pull up that really quick here. There you go. There's all right. So let's skip that. Let's go up here. So you have Zelensky and JD Vance held talks in Munich. We had good discussion on how to achieve peace, and there will be more in the coming days, weeks, and months. We want the biblical war to end, said the Sleeping Giant VP. During the meeting with Zelensky in Munich, Vance stated that the Sleeping Giant goal is to achieve a lasting peace in Ukraine. The topic of the Mineral Resources Agreement, which initially led to postponement of the negotiation was not discussed at the meeting. Zelensky and Yermak have already left the conference. Meanwhile, Vladimir is assembling a team of negotiators to engage in talks with representative of Donald administration. And according to Bloomberg, the team will include, there you go, these are the team right here. I'm just going to skip their names. All right. Once again, this is where we at right now, guys. All right, so I'm just going to end it here, guys. I'm just going to end it here, but thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. Again, Nation Against Nations are building up. Watchmen is sounding the alarm here. And again, once again, be careful with all the deceiving system out there. So make sure you check out the video I posted today when it comes to the nuclear plant. That's another deceiving stuff that's going on. They're trying to blame the bear, but in reality, it is a false FLAG. Thank you so much for watching. Again, for those of you that want to give a life to Christ, you can email me. My email is in the description box. Me and my wife are here to help many and to lead many to the righteous path, and that's the path of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. For those of you that want to send us letters or prayer requests, you can send it to me, US Santiago, or my wife, Jessica Santiago, at 3432 US Highway 19, number 2, Holiday, Florida 34691. Once again, guys, $1 a month Patreon. We get you access to our live stream every Monday. We talk about things that we cannot talk about on the platform. Also, I posted videos today. Those links will be in the comments box. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you all. Put faith and trust in Jesus Christ, for He's the only way, the truth, and the life. No one gets to the Father except through Jesus. Thank you so much for watching. Till next time later. Peace.